Welcome to Potion Sword Run. In this episode, we'll be talking about the new Steam hardware that just might be the stuff for me next generation. Well, it's not really next generation. It's going to be launching in 2026. They're going to be launching a new Steam machine. They're going to be launching a new Steam headset for VR. And they're going to be launching a new Steam controller that works with all the different Steam line of products. Now, I didn't know what to do for next gen. I didn't know if I was going to buy the next Xbox, given how they've been acting. PlayStation's never really done it for me. But Steam OS has always been intriguing to me because of all the games that they get that other consoles don't. A bunch of indie games. Some of them are just bangers. Plus, they always get the indie games first as well. And that's something that I'm very much looking into. But not even that, just that. Also, all the different, sales they got. It's a great marketplace. And I think that's where I'm going to go now. I'm going to buy the next Steam machine in 2026. And I might even go and get the headset VR too. Just to, go all on in and integrate my games. With the VR headset, you can play your games in VR. The ones, obviously. But you can also play anything in your Steam library, just like in a big screen with your headset. And the headset looks legit. It looks like it fits snugly onto your head. And the controllers, they look like the ones I have for the Quest, which I'm sure are going to work as well. I'm also intrigued by the new Steam controller. I like the little track pads in the bottom right there. What the PlayStation one has a trackpad. I don't really use it that much, but sometimes when you do, it's kind of cool. So, who knows what type of games I can play with the trackpad, especially the indie games I'm looking forward to. But the rest of it looks, it fits snugly in your hand. Kind of reminds me of the 8-bit Duo, I believe, controllers. So, I'm all in for that. But what really got me excited is the Steam machine. First of all, something that I noticed that is cool is that it has interchangeable faceplates. So you get to customize it like you did your Xbox 360. Here it shows a couple of different ones. A Valve one, which I'm sure will be rare and very limited, which I love stuff like that. And they also show a wood grain one for those of you who, had the nostalgia for the wood grain consoles. So you get to customize your Steam machine, which I think is freaking awesome. And it also has an LED light in the bottom that you can customize as well, but also gives you different, hints when loading and stuff, which is also pretty cool. Being able to have it just connect to my TV, like I have to worry about like PC kind of stuff, even though it is a PC. They promised that it's going to be easy to, use, and that's what I'm looking forward to. That's why I like consoles. They're just easy to use. You put in the game, and that's it. You don't have to worry about drivers, about graphic cards, about any of all that crap. And the Steam controller also has a Steam button, like the Xbox button, which is going to bring up the interface. And yes, I definitely, I know people are like, what? Yeah, but it just makes everything so convenient and like all in one place and not having to go through different like menus and stuff like in PC. So yeah, it's going to be streamlined for gamers. But the controller, pretty much all the Steam Deck, they call it the Steam Frame, which is a 3D headset, the controller, and the Steam machines, they're all work together. So, you can use the controller on the Steam Deck, use it whatever. You can use the controller on the headset to play the games that aren't 3D. I think they've done it. Like, they already have the reputation of being a good company, Valve. Standing by their customers, even giving refunds on games if they bought them right before they went on a sale. That's happened before. They have games that go on sale. How they're a pedigree developer as well whenever they want to develop a game. But they just earned the trust of consumers. And I've been seeing it from the outside in because I've always been a Mac person. And even though they do have Steam on Mac, they don't have it fully integrated because some developers don't make the games for Mac because the install base, and even though people who buy games on there are very low, so it may not work out. So I understand that, and that's why I never really bought into Steam. But now that I can do it through my console, a Steam machine, that's it, right? That's all I really need. You can play certain PlayStation games on there, and I'm sure as time goes by and Sony realizes that it's beneficial for them to release their games on PC as well, they'll probably be there day one, which is awesome. But everything else that I'm hearing about it, the quality build, it's like a smaller little Xbox Series X. It can also do like streaming games, like I said, to your other devices. I mean, I think this is it. Like, I've been waiting for Steam to release their next hardware series. I was thinking it was going to be the Steam Deck that they're going to re-release, just a better one. And that's where I was thinking I was going to jump in. But no, I'm going to jump in with the Steam machine, next generation. That's where I'm at right now. Now, if Xbox releases something later on and changes my mind, we'll see. Like PlayStation, I don't know. It just doesn't really grab me as much as that, this Xbox console did. So, but I'm still open-minded. If they come out with something with the PlayStation 6, that's awesome. And they look like they're back on track with releasing games, because this generation they screwed the pooch. We all know that. Then maybe I'll give them another shot. Nintendo Switch 2, I'm not gonna get that. I'm skipping it. There's still a lot of Mario games that I haven't even bought for the Switch 1, like Mario Wonder, and they're re-releasing it for the Switch 2, and that's all. They're releasing a bunch of Switch games for the Switch 2, so there's really no reason to jump in. And speaking of that, their next game, the Pokemania, whatever, seems that it's gonna be released on a disc card, like not fully on the game disc. What are those key cards? It's like, dude. Like, so now Nintendo's going to start releasing their first party titles on key cards as well. So there's no point of getting Nintendo Switch 2 or Pro. So let me know what you guys think about this. I'm very excited from what I see, from what I hear. Now, you won't be able to get it till next year. Hopefully pre-orders will go live soon, and then we'll see what the price is. The thing is, they didn't release a price for it, so they have state-of-the-art chip and all that stuff. Supposedly is like 6 times stronger than the Steam Deck, so I don't know what the price would be. I'm willing to go about $800. I don't like $1,000. Just seems too much for me, like 500 will be the sweet spot. And then another 400 for the VR headset. If I can get the VR headset and the Steam Deck or the Steam machine for like $1,000, just maybe a little, then I'll get those two straight up, But I'm sure they're gonna be more expensive than that. But then again, they may not be, because you're gonna buy your games from Steam, so they're gonna make their money. That's exactly where Valve makes their money. They're not going to make it off the peripherals and hardware. They make it off the software, and they make it off the royalties they make from other companies that release games on OS. So who knows? Maybe they'll take a little bit of a hit on the hardware in order just to create a big install base to make their money back. I'm surely gonna be that whale, I guess. I'll start building my library on Steam, and then even rebuying games that I play often, so that I don't really have to turn on my other consoles when I want to play a certain game. So I'm excited about what they've shown so far. There's a bunch of information on their website, giving you all the nitty gritty on the technical aspects, if you're really into that. I read them. I don't really like reporting all that shit. I'm sure there's a lot of other people out there that will do that for you. I just wanted to geek out, let you guys know that they announced these things, and that I'm probably going to be jumping in to Steam as my next generation consoles. And yeah, we'll see. So it's up to Xbox and PlayStation to impress me with their next gen consoles, but I don't think they're going to do it, especially because they can't really compete with Steam OS. The funny thing is, they're going to launch in early 2026, and they know they have to do that just to, they don't have to do that, but it's smart of them to do that so that they can get people like me or people who are waiting for next gen consoles just being the first one out the door. And I guess we'll wait and see what the other developers of the consoles make. But so far, from what I see, I'm thinking I'm gonna be a Steam person now, a Steam gamer, but not on PC, but through a Steam machine. And who knows, maybe one day I will build a PC. But I really love my Mac, so I don't think I'll be going to PC. Anyways, let me know what you guys think about the Steam machine, the Steam controller, and the Steam frame. And if you guys are gonna, jump in as well, or you guys are, set on your Xbox and your PlayStations and your Switch 2s. Switch 2. I need to make another video making fun of that. Anyways, I'm gonna leave it right there. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Remember, always be kind to yourself and enjoy your life. And I'll meet you right there. Peace.